You're now listening to Transforming Tears, Navigating Grief to Growth, where we discuss how to overcome grief to flourish in life, all while relying on God through the process.
Hey, family. Well, it's me again. Just me again. Promise soon we'll have some guests, but for right now, you just get to hear what's on my heart. We'll also have video eventually, but I just wanted to make a quick episode to talk about the holidays. I knew the holidays would be hard, but I wasn't really prepared for how hard they would be. Grief sucks. Let me say it again. Grief sucks. On and off for the past couple weeks, I've had waves of grief and big feelings of dread around this upcoming holiday season. In our family, we did holidays big, real big. We really ramped up celebrations last year as Ricky's health began to decline. But for us, Thanksgiving has always been a big deal. Ricky and I cooked together with the kids and air quotes helping. Well, mostly they helped by tasting, eating everything. It was always just a 2-day ordeal of cooking and having fun as a family. So I felt nothing but dread the past few weeks as I thought about how empty the house would feel this year. That, on top of several close friends recently losing loved ones, have had me kind of in a funk. I mean, I wasn't sitting around sad all the time, but I definitely had my down moments. Then, a few days ago, my 14-year-old son, who never discusses his feelings, came to me in the middle of gaming with his friends to tell me that he was dreading Thanksgiving and was worried about how he was going to feel. We talked about the fact that we were going to do something a little different during Thanksgiving so that hopefully we wouldn't feel the void quite as much. We talked a little more about what we were feeling that night, and the next morning I made him an appointment with his grief counselor. He only sees her on a as needed basis. And at this point, we definitely needed her. So our meeting with the grief counselor went really well. Gave me some helpful advice that I would like to share with you all. The most important thing he said was that there's no right or wrong way to approach the holidays. All of these things I'm going to mention are just suggestions. So, as the old folks used to say, chew on the meat and spit out the bones. Take what may be helpful for you and leave the rest. One important thing is to acknowledge that things are going to be different this year. They will probably hurt and be very hard. If you've lost someone, well, you've been doing hard things. And although this week, 1 month from now, during Christmas, are going to be hard, you can do it. Our grief counselor encouraged us not to run from the hard, not to try to avoid it or act like the void isn't there. Now, I'm the master of avoidance, so this really hit me hard. She made a good point, though. It actually takes more energy to avoid than it does to allow yourself to feel. Allowing yourself to feel all the feelings, no matter how difficult it may be, is important on the path toward healing. And Lord knows I want to progress with this healing. Another suggestion she gave to keep from going into avoidance is to do something to honor your loved one. Fix their favorite dish, put them out a plate, even light a candle for them. Do something to acknowledge that while they aren't physically here this year, they're still felt in our heart. Tell stories about past Thanksgivings. Try to laugh some and feel okay if you cry some too. Maybe watch your loved one's favorite team play or take the time to watch their favorite movie. For us, that's Cars. My husband watched Cars with my grandson and our son probably over 100 times. So we may do that this year. Or maybe y'all are one of those crazy families that do a 5K on Thanksgiving Day. So by all means, go run in honor of your loved one. And more power to you on that one, too. I'm going to be on the couch after overeating. No running involved. In all seriousness, though, honor your loved one and make this holiday your own. Make it special and unique. Full disclosure, though, you may just have to ride it out. Endure. Her grief counselor said that last year was the first Thanksgiving without her dad, and she was miserable and couldn't wait for it to be over. But guess what? She survived. And she said that this year doesn't feel quite as hard. I think that's a big part of what grief is, surviving until things don't feel quite as hard. The absolute best advice, though, she gave was to be gentle with myself. No matter how it looks, I'm going to show up and do my part to make it the best experience possible for my family. We will survive. A big part of my being able to keep a positive attitude is a daily gratitude practice. As much as it sounds cliche to say what you are thankful for at Thanksgiving, I'm going to do it. And you should too. So here are just a few things. Number one, I'm thankful for Friendsgiving celebrations. I've attended two separate Friendsgiving celebrations recently, two very different celebrations, but I left both with a full heart. I'm thankful for friends that care about us and include us in things. Having different traditions has been a godsend this year. Speaking of traditions, the second thing I'm thankful for are Christmas decorations. So let me explain. This year I decided that I didn't want to get out our usual Christmas decorations from the attic. There's just too many memories. For the last 15 years, every year we've gotten a family ornament with all of our names on it. As years have gone on, names have been added based on maybe who was staying with us at the time or additions to our family. The thought of getting an ornament this year without Ricky Sr. or Daddy on it just feels too hard. We have so many of those ornaments that they take up a good portion of the tree, but it feels like all of our ornaments have memories. Also, I can't imagine putting up stockings and not putting gifts in Ricky's. Tearing up just thinking about it. My youngest daughter and I had had a discussion one morning about not really feeling the holidays this year, feeling like we needed to decorate so that my son would have a sense of normalcy. I said, I wish I could just go buy a lot of Christmas items and not have to go shopping and think about it. I know that eventually I want our stuff back up at Christmas, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money looking for stuff to put up in the meantime. Nor did I really want a bunch of cheap looking stuff up in my house. Less than 2 hours after talking to my daughter, I opened Facebook to go onto a school group for my son and search for something. A friend whose post I never see had listed a lot of Christmas items for $50. The lot had enough things to decorate my whole house, along with a small tree that I'd planned on getting. I quickly reached out and found out that the items were still available. I made arrangements to get them, and now we have new to us Christmas decorations. What's the point of that long story about what I'm thankful for? The point is that God cares about me and my grief, cares about every itty bitty part of my life. Something that may seem insignificant to me is most important to God. If it's important to me, it's important to Him. The last thing I'm thankful for is you listeners. Several people have reached out to say that one small thing I've said has been a blessing to them. Truthfully, talking things out has been extremely healing for me. I know that God has called me to be a voice for and encouragement to my fellow grievers. I'm thankful for those who are on the journey with us. Thankful that we have each other. So on this Thanksgiving Day, just know that I love you, I'm praying for you, and I'm thankful for you. We will make it through this holiday season. We'll make it through together.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Transforming Tears. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform so that you never miss an episode.